And what up, everybody? I'm here with my buddy Scotty, and we're of course doing your Friday weekly events video. We're back. Happy New Year. Hope everyone had a good time. We got the War Scourge coming up, as well as other events. Scotty, let me know, what did you eat for dinner on New Year's Eve?
What?
And we're moving on to the video. Let's go. So we got some weekly events coming in. We got Sif Shards coming. We got the Infinity Watch, and we have Nowhere Heist. How are you doing on Nowhere Heist? Do you have it all 7-starred out?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that's important and worthwhile for people to do?
No.
No. I used to think no, and it's hard for me to still think no, because they are pushing the Dark promos so hard. All the best characters are Dark promo credits.
I think I forget how much you get as the initial one, because I think maybe that's worth it. But every time it comes around, what I'm getting does not feel worth it.
Yeah, not at all.
No.
Oh, man, that's a rough one. That's a rough one. And also, we got Dazzler coming to the War Store. How you doing on war credits? I find that because there's only 2 spots, I'm eternally maxed out on my war currency.
Really? I feel like I'm always spending it.
Oh, yeah? Do you refresh that store?
No, I don't refresh it, but every time I see something teal, then I'm like, yeah, I want that, and then I end up getting low again.
I only use it to buy Focus, Health Catalysts, and the minis. So I very often, the store doesn't give me anything except Origin gear. And now that we can farm that, I'm not focused on farming that at all. One thing I want to talk about, and I'm going to get your opinion on this, and I didn't brief you on this. This is going to be authentic reaction. I put out an Infinity Watch video 2 or 3 days ago, talking about how good they still are. And now, Adam Warlock is coming back around, and they put out an Infinity Watch offer for Red Stars. Am I being used to siphon money from the community? Are they taking advantage of my video making?
I think it's just a coincidence of timing.
You're not fun.
Perhaps.
You're no fun.
Let's
move on to what you're good at. Yeah. Let's move on to what you're good at. That's talking about Blitz events, because you love your Blitz events. So we do have just two milestones really this week to worry about, besides some other stuff we're going to talk about. And the Blitz one is one of them. How many rotations are we going to have to do to fulfill our monthly obligations to Scopely?
So this is worst case scenario. The average when they increase the amount of Blitz credits we get for wins, they said was about 15. So I use that. I mean, sometimes people get 20, 25, 30, 50, 100, even more. So you may be done faster. I also did kind of worst case scenario that you have only 35, Blitz teams that are going to win, because most people don't make crazy Blitz teams anymore now that we don't have Blitz unlocks. Mm-hmm. So I did it based on 35 wins, 5 rotations, 7 days. That's enough to max it easily. Obviously people may have better luck and do it less than that, but I mean it's not a bad Blitz event, I don't think.
Okay. Five rotations is a little annoying for me. Just being honest, I'm kind of over blitzing, but you're right that you did do the worst case scenario here, so we'll probably find that we end up doing maybe 4 rotations a day and we can squeak it out. Do we have to max out this event in order to complete the monthly?
Yes.
Yes, okay. All right, and that'll lead us into what all this stuff is going into. Opening orbs. Now, there's a couple different places we're getting the fragments for these orbs. Why don't you touch on that?
So, it's one of those ones where you get them from the campaign notes. Mm-hmm. You also get them from the web milestones. So the one we just talked about, that's going to give you 36,000 of the orb fragments. So obviously you want to max that one so you have your ability to get through this one easier. You need 120,000 points to max this event, which is obviously not free to play. Okay. So you're going to have to buy offers if you want to max it. But the important things that we need to get to are the battle boots and the justice medals. Something they seem to be doing more, because before, it used to be the justice medals, and then there would be that one big item, such as the boots. But now they're putting some justice medals after that item as well.
Oof.
But it's still, in my opinion, quite easy to get to. So I did kind of like, if you want to go a little bit crazy and get a little bit further, so that would be doing, and this is based on the Herald of Death event that we had previously. That was, orb fragments in those campaign nodes. Obviously, that may change because we don't know what they're going to do this time, and it does tend to change a little bit with those events. But if you wanted to go kind of a bit crazy and spend about 14,040 energy a day on those campaign nodes, so that would be 12 campaign nodes, that would get you to milestone 36. So you're going to get the boots, you're going to get all the medals, and a little bit more augmented gear. So it just, I guess, depends if you really need that. I will say there is augmented gamma radiation at 35, which I think a lot of people do need for the gamma team. Okay. So I do think that is worth pushing for, because that does get you 9 of those, and I really need those right now to finish off Abomination. So I think it is worth it spending that extra energy to get there.
All right.
And then if you are saying, nope, I don't care about that gamma radiation, I just want to get the monthly items, so the battle boots and the justice medals, you should max out the web milestone, and then you only have to spend about 480 energy a day on the campaign node. Okay. So that's four nodes, so it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. I do want to make a quick correction. You said 14,000 energy, you meant 1,400 energy.
Yes.
Before anyone has a heart attack.
1,400.
Yeah. 14,000 would be very in line with what Scopely is seemingly trying to build us up to. But another part of that gamma radiation is with the War Scourge coming, which is something we're going to talk about very soon, as you saw in the thumbnail. You might need that gamma radiation in order to do the medium difficulty on the Saga event that's going to come to unlock his Horseman benefits, which are pretty overpowered compared to what Rogue brought. So maybe you're going to need that gamma radiation. It might be something you want to look into. Speaking of that Scourge, let's go ahead and talk about that. So we do have some other events. Coordinated Assault, which is something that me and you, I think, actually look forward to, because it's a good source of ions. And it is something that the rest of the community absolutely hates. And it comes down to activity. So I've come to realize that we are in such a minority in the community, in the fact that we have someone like you that organizes the bunch of monkeys you got running around you and gets us through it. Now, we were talking another video about what Scopely could do to try and make this event more tolerable for the vast majority of the community. Do you think that's something that they will ever even consider?
Well, it was like, I think it was about a month ago when they actually had on the web store, there was like a daily claim that was for free, and it gave you a bunch of ISO energy refills. And they did this for like a week before Coordinated Assault started. And I was like, that's amazing. Like, this is going to make this so much easier for everybody to do it, because you're all going to have these potentially saved if you want to. And I was like, that's amazing. And then they took it away, and they didn't really say anything about it coming, and they didn't say anything about it going. So I think that would be one thing they could do to help other people complete it, because not everybody, has a bunch of people that want to do it. Yeah. But I think it is something that you also just have to budget for, because like right now I'm at 500 ISO energy refills capped, and so I'm ready for Coordinated Assault tomorrow. And then once we hit it, then I start saving again. So I never have to core it to do the amount that I'm supposed to contribute every time.
Right. So that's an important thing. And if you can get all your Alliance members on the same page, I know it's tough, because it's like a week and it happens every other week, basically. So it feels like it's running all the time. I cannot stress how much of a boost Coordinated Assault gives to your level Flu Blue ions. Like every time it comes around, I get one more character done and ready to help unlock that baby apocalypse. We got kind of torn up in the comments one time for suggesting that you might need to find another alliance. But that's kind of like the hard, ugly truth of Marvel Strike Force. If you want to keep up and get the shiny stuff when everyone else is getting it, you need to be in an active alliance. Alliances are the lifeblood of the game. And if anyone from Scopely is watching, please help us in our alliance management stuff. Like, make it easier for alliances to function, make it easier for them to get filled, make it less complicated to do these events, maybe get it down so that it's a single player spending, their green ion so that you could do this as a solo event instead. There's just a lot of things that would make this a lot more tolerable. Yeah. Steven is saying Scopely has been trying to get active people into the minded alliances since Ultimus raids. That's true. They want to get everyone in line with being competitive and spending more money and pushing harder, but that's simply not going to happen to the vast majority of people. And we need the vast majority of people to make the game function. Moving on from that heavy topic, Quick Rumble, or Quick Ruble, as I have it spelled here. Same as always. It's pretty easy for those who have Underworld built.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you don't have them built, like, you may have to blitz a little bit more, but I don't think people struggle with the quick rumbles. But obviously, it was nice when they did the ones over the holidays where it was like no trait and you could just any 7-star, but obviously they're not going to do that every time, because what's the point of quick rumble if they do that? But I think a lot of people, especially, people should have Mr. Negative. They've been claiming him for free on the web store. And they are wonderful in war, of course, but they're also decent in as
Crucible.
Cosmic Crucible defense. Yeah. They're not going anywhere, so hopefully most people have them built. So I think it should be completable.
Yeah, I even got good use out of them in Tower this time, which is pretty fun. Yeah. The one thing I will say is that they do seem to be a endgame alliance kind of team. But for the Quick Rumble, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's about yellow stars, right? It's not about gear tier.
Yeah.
So maybe put some extra yellow stars on them and throw them with characters like Eternals or Dorm and just get the wins on them. As long as you have the yellow stars, that'll help you get the event done faster. Not much else you can do about that. And then the War Scourge talk. So War Scourge is coming back January 12th. Not many new teams have been added to it. We had the bio section. We were able to use Gamma before, but now we get to use Gamma with full Red Hulks. Do you think that's going to inflate the scores on the leaderboard that is actually still active? Like for me and you, we're out of that bracket. But for other people, do you think the scores are going to get higher, or do you think it'll be lower because, a couple thousand people are out?
I mean, at least with the previous events, I don't think I've ever noticed the scoreboard that people post about get crazy. Just because there's less people in it competing for, those top spots.
Yeah.
And even the people that have to do it, they maybe are only going for like that 7th yellow, so they don't really have to be at the top.
Yeah, that's a really good point. You don't have those psychopaths like Zubin or myself going in there and running it for 12, 14 hours a day. So that's good. As far as nodes 5 and 10 go, with Wave 1, Ravagers, and Asgardians, do you think with the rework to Captain America that he could have any benefit, or do you think it's still just throw in your Asgardians, let them go boom, and go from there?
I don't know. I don't know if he got enough of a rework to really make that much of a difference without the rest of his team, but
yeah. As a solo, he might take a hit harder. He might take a couple extra hits, but he's not doing anything to help you actively get through the node.
Yeah.
Steven also says more people might have Ravagers built this time after the minion nodes in Death Scourge. That's true, and the Ravager minions will help you get through this because the Ravager team is almost on par with the Asgardians if you're not using certain Scourges. But that is going to be it for this event video, guys. I got a little preachy with Coordinated Assault because I both recognize how beneficial it is to get those rewards, and I want to acknowledge that I've heard you guys talking about it in the comment section. I understand the situation that you're talking about. But that's going to be it. Happy New Year, Scotty. What do you want to say to the people to ring in the New Year?
New Year, same bish.